So, we need to talk. This morning I received this GTX 1080 Ti. Awesome. Yeah, I'm confused. 3 video cards are relevant to our discussion. First, the GTX 1080, then the GTX 1080 Ti, and finally the Titan X Pascal architecture. So, the GTX 1080 costs about $550 today. The 1080 Ti costs about $750 US dollars, and finally the Titan X will cost you anywhere between $1,100 to $1,800 US dollars. Now, why I'm confused? Well, basically the GTX 1080 Ti is a Titan X. It's a Titan X at $750. If you take a look at the specifications of your 1080 Ti, it's exactly the same specification you have on the Titan X, or in certain cases actually exceeds it. Let me run you through it. Alright, so like anyone on the net, let me start with the unboxing. Here it is in all its glory, the GTX 1080 Ti. Now, when unboxing this monster, I was kind of surprised on how basic the packaging was. There's not much inside it, and the card barely comes with anything at all. I was also surprised on how complex it was to remove the card out of its packaging. So follow the instructions on your screen and you should be good to go. Alright, let's take a closer look to our 1080 Ti Founders Edition. First things first, the display ports. So we do have 3 1.2 display ports and 1 HDMI port. Good to know, each of those ports can run up to 8K resolution. Let's go technical. Our video card is equipped with the mighty GP102. Interestingly, in this video card, the GPU runs at 1480 MHz. And yes, this is a higher clock than the Titan X runs at. Memory-wise, the card is equipped with 11 GB of GDDR5X. That's 1 GB less than what the Titan X would come with, but the memory bus is very similar. And wait for it, the memory bandwidth is actually 45% higher on a 1080 Ti than the mighty Titan X. And for the rest, the card looks exactly like any other 10 series Founders Edition, so no surprise there. Our next step is install the card into our test machine and benchmark the hell out of it. I think that benchmarking wise, the most interesting test we could run is the GTX 1080 against the GTX 1080 Ti, and there is no discussion. The 1080 Ti blows its previous generation to the moon, and especially when you go on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The super sampling killed the GTX 1080, and it was almost miraculous to see it work on the 1080 Ti. I mean, you are talking an incredible 100 or 110% increase in performances. I also took a cheap shot at the GTX 1080 with 3D Mark. Even though the difference of performances was not as obvious as in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the GTX 1080 Ti clearly overperforms the GTX 1080. The 1080 run on a GP104. That's a GPU which has about 7.2 billion transistors. The 1080 Ti and the Titan X both run on a GP102. And that is 12 billion transistors. That's a lot. That's a lot more. That's not 10%, that's 40% more. And that's what blows my mind. Why would Nvidia shoot itself in both feet, giving us and producing a card which is marginally more expensive than the 1080, which gives you and exceeds the very performance of a Titan X, which costs at least double if not triple the price? That doesn't quite make sense to me. It doesn't. I'm trying, but it doesn't make sense. I am completely lost.